Let's look at Sydney now. It is at risk of becoming a city with no children. That was the warning from the New South Wales Productivity Commission, which has revealed in its latest housing paper that over a 5-year period, Sydney has lost twice as many people between the ages of 30 and 40 than it gained. The state's Productivity Commissioner, Peter Achterstraat, joins me now. Peter, thanks so much for your time. This was pretty dire reading, I've got to say. Is there any silver linings here?
Well, there is, and that is that we're looking to the future. We've got to prevent something happening and take action now. As you quite rightly said, Laura, every year thousands of people between 30 and 40 are leaving this great city. And in fact, as you said, for every person in their 30s coming to Sydney, 2 are leaving. And if that continues, we'll be in a situation where there'll be a dearth of talent between the 30 and 40-year-olds, but also these people leaving, there'll be a lack of grandchildren.
What's the single biggest drag on productivity in New South Wales?
Well, there are a number of areas where we can look to improve productivity, and housing is a key one. If we can get people living closer to where they work, closer to where their families are, they'll be more productive. Instead of sitting in the car, instead of causing pollution, they'll be able to get to work quicker, or they can spend more time at home. Nobody likes to spend an hour in the traffic fighting with the traffic like you've had 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali and then finally getting to work. You tend not to be productive. But if I can come back to the 30 to 40-year-olds, Laura,
please.
They are amongst the most productive workers in the economy. The reason for that is because generally they've just finished their formal training. They've usually had up to 10 years of experience, and the majority of the 30 to 40-year-olds are tech savvy, and so they are really the high productive cohort in the economy, and we need to keep them in New South Wales.
And is housing the thing that's sending them elsewhere? Are they just going interstate, or are some going overseas? So we're at the risk of having a bit of a brain drain.
Oh, look, absolutely. They're going interstate and they're going overseas. Now, housing is not the only reason they do that. Some people want a change of life. They want to work overseas or they want a tree change. Great. And I'm saying we should let people have that choice, but they need to be able to have a choice. What I'm concerned about, Laura, is that people who are leaving Sydney purely because they can't afford housing, whether to buy or to rent, we want them to be able to stay. If they want to leave for other reasons, that's fine, right? But we want them to have the choice of why they leave.
And those 30 to 40-year-olds, as you say, they're the most productive workers in the economy. They're fit, healthy, they've just finished their formal training. They're probably as hungry as they're ever going to be. There's, federal government decisions that would be weighing down on their lifestyle choices as well, wouldn't there?
Yeah, look, there's lots of factors that weigh on this, and lots of factors that weigh on housing. For example, there are four of the main winds that are blowing down housing affordability. There's the lack of supply, there's the increased demand due to the growth in population, there's the slow approval processes for developments, and also, unfortunately, there's the lack of skilled tradespeople to help us build these houses. So there are a number of headwinds blowing down housing affordability, and I think now is the time where people are starting to realise that we do need more appropriate development. I'm not saying we need high rises everywhere. In fact, in our research and our consultations, Laura, I've not come across one person who has said they're in favour of overdevelopment. What people are saying is they want appropriate development in their area, right? They want to be able to maybe downsize but live in the same location. And if they do that, if they downsize into, say, a medium density, into a walk-up or a manor, that may free up their house for someone else if it's a standalone to buy. So if we can give more choice to people, I think that will make it much more effective.
Obviously, these are all political decisions, but do you look at what's being described as, a terribly inefficient tax, things like stamp duty, and how that affects productivity essentially?
Look, we look at a range of issues. We haven't done a detailed look at this stage into taxes. We're focusing mainly at this stage on housing affordability, and then we'll be moving on to others, because I think if we don't get the housing right, and the other bit, just on other productivity issues, if we can improve the ability or the supply of houses near the high-performing schools, if we have more houses around there, that will give people of a more modest income the opportunity to buy or live near one of the higher performing schools. So there's a whole interaction. As you say, tax might be one, housing, education. There are a lot of factors that we need to, and we do need to improve productivity, because one of the best ways to improve real wages is to increase the amount of goods and services made per head of population. Otherwise, we're just playing musical chairs. But if we can increase the amount of goods and services made per person, then we're in a position to increase the standard of living, the quality of life, and real wages. So the key is making more goods and services with the existing assets we have.
It makes sense, Peter. It makes perfect sense. It's pretty simple, but it's just how to get all those things done in this political environment. So, look, I hope they're listening. I hope they're watching this today. We'll speak to you soon.